Welcome to the D&D Fitness Radio Podcast, brought to you by your hosts, Don Saladino from New York City and Derek Hansen from Vancouver, Canada.
What's going on, buddy?
It's good to see you. Thank you, by the way.
The same. Thank you. Thanks for having me, brother.
It's all good. So I'm introducing my friend Derek Hansen. Derek's, our buddy, the muscle doc, knows Derek pretty well. Derek's one of the probably one of the finest sprint mechanics coaches on the planet. He lives in Vancouver, on the other side of the other side of North America right now.
How is the weather, Derek?
It's still a little chilly, but
okay.
But better. It's getting better. My hay fever is starting, so it must be getting better, I guess. So.
Hey, really nice to meet you, buddy.
Likewise.
Fernando, man, you're like an anomaly. Every time I see you in hybrid, you're always in the corner. You're always doing really impressive stuff. I'm always like a kid. I kind of walk in there, I see you, I get all excited, right? And I'm like kind of start tiptoeing my way over. I was with Ben Pekulski the other day working out. Ben kept looking at me going like, holy shit.
That's awesome.
It's pretty, and he's a pretty great guy, but man, a lot of respect for you.
Thank you.
You and I haven't really had a big conversation, but I think we know each other well through Jordan. And Jordan just says nothing but the nicest things about you. And
that's cool.
Congratulations on your success.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you. It was a pleasure meeting you, and I hope you had a good time here when you were in Miami, brother.
Incredible, and Derek, incredible energy in this place, hybrid. It really is. We were in there the other day. Fernando snatching. He's split jerking. I don't even remember what you had overhead.
I think it's 210 kilos. Like I did 3 singles. It was like a heavyish session. So we did 3 singles with 210. Was a good session.
Yeah, no, it looked good, but the energy was incredible. Steffi Cohen was in the boxing gym, beating herself up for about 90 minutes. And then Ben and I were out. I just finished a pulling session, and Ben Pekulski walks in and goes, "You want a deadlift?" And I'm like, "Sure." Right after, he's like, "You want a squat?" I'm like, "Sure." Like, you just one of those days where you're not saying no to anyone. But special place. Can you tell us? You've got an interesting story. Can you jump into it a little bit?
Absolutely.
I mean, tell our listeners right now who you are and what's kind of your whole backstory.
Absolutely. So I'm Fernando Reis. I'm a 2-time Olympian. I do Olympic weightlifting. I represent the team Brazil. I've been doing Olympic lifting now for 21 years. I started when I was 10 years old. My dad was a power lifter, so he put me in the sport. So I was really lucky to start at such a young age. I used to do judo before, and I started doing strength and conditioning using Olympic lifting. So I've been lifting for 21 years of my life. I started when I was super young. I started to develop myself. I'm a Junior World medalist. I'm 3 times Pan American Games record holder. I placed 5th at the Olympics in Rio 2016, and I'm an Olympic hopeful medal for this year, 2021 Tokyo. The Olympics got postponed. I had a knee surgery after the World Championships in 2018, and there was the only time in my career that I had a little bit of doubt, because I never had such a setback like that, because I've been pretty consistent throughout my 20 years of career. I never stopped training. Just as an example, when I competed in Rio, the Olympics in 2016, I competed on Friday, Saturday, I was already at the gym training. So I don't stop. I keep training. And whenever I had my knee surgery, that was the only time that I had like 3 months pretty much doing just upper body and doing like a lot of PT work with my physiotherapist to get back in shape. So that was the only time in my career that I had a little bit of setbacks. Let's say like that.
There.
Yeah. I was looking at all your stats, really impressed. I had the opportunity to work with an Olympic lifter locally, Christine Gerard, and she's 63 kilo.
Amazing.
Yeah, she was like, I think she was 3rd in London, and then she got moved up to gold. So
exactly.
So that does happen sometimes.
That just happened to me actually. The World Championships, yes.
Yeah.
So, was it bronze?
Bronze medal, exactly. Yeah. Bronze medal. The 3rd place from Uzbekistan, he got popped. They didn't release what was the substance, but they told the IWF released a note saying that he exchanged the sample with somebody, something like that.
Hmm.
Wow. Wow. Now, I was talking to somebody about 2021, and they're saying that they would bring you in for your event, and that's it. You're not there for the full 16 or 20 days. So, have you heard much about that? Can you tell us how that would go?
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's gonna be like a different protocol. Team Brazil, it's having like how can I say, like a training camp that's gonna be not located inside of the games. So we're gonna have a place to train. I'm probably gonna be there for 10 days before I go to the Olympic Village. So once we are in the Olympic Village, we have a small window to be there. So it's gonna be, I think, 5 days stops, and then you gotta get out for like another team to get in. So it's gonna be a different way to compete at the Olympics, but it is what it is. We gotta adjust, and being an athlete, you never have the perfect environment. You gotta adjust, and you gotta move. Well, the conditions are going to be the same for every athlete. So just adjust with what do we have and move on.
So wait, are you from Sao Paulo?
I'm from São Paulo. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So one of my best friends, who I worked with for, I want to say about 14 years at my club, moved
Nice.
from Sao Paulo into the city, then he started bringing a bunch of his buddies that were Brazilian to come work with me at their club, and they were some of the greatest people I've ever been around, and some of the hardest workers I've ever been around. But what was that
Absolutely.
like for you to go compete in 2016? And you're pretty much in your hood, right? I mean, you got to be a celebrity over there. So showing up, I mean, the Olympics were in Rio, not exactly Sao Paulo, but close enough, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. For me, it was such a like a wonderful experience because I'm really used to competing in U.S., Asia, Europe. So I never have the crowd cheering for me. So competing in Brazil was something like, oh, it was tremendous. I had like 15,000 people at the stage, like watching and cheering, saying my name. So that was like just to think about, like give
I'm
me
getting the
goosebumps.
chills.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
getting the
So
chills.
so it was really different for me, and was amazing. It was really cool. Was really cool because we have like a lot of people were saying like you can do it, like cheering, saying my name. It was such a unique experience. London was really nice because the whole crowd was so polite. Before the competition, the organization of the event, they will present a video, pretty much like teaching the crowd how to behave. So before you step in the platform, all the crowd would like shut down, and you can hear like like a bee flying. Like that was the deal. In Brazil, that was completely opposite. It was tremendous. Everybody yelling, cheering, let's go, let's go. So it was a different experience, but it was really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah, they had the World Championships here in Vancouver in 2003, and I remember it was pretty. We're Canadians, we're like really quiet and like so. But you said you started when you were 10, and I know that in working with Christine, she said she started at 7 years old, and I'm like, well, did you get to play any other sports or anything? So in your case, was it just weightlifting, 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 or were you like a great soccer player, but we didn't get to really see it turn out?
I was a goalkeeper. I think it's the rules of the streets. The fat guy should go to the game. That's the rules. But I play a little bit of soccer. I did judo. I did Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I did a little bit of boxing. And I developed myself as an Olympic lifter. And as you're saying, it is very important, like, to start in a young age for Olympic lifting. Otherwise you don't develop the window of your nervous system. So people who try to start Olympic lifting when you're like 25, 26, sure, you can learn the movement, you can learn how to do it, but you're not going to be a high level athlete because you already lost the window of development. You got to develop between 10 to 14 years old. Then when you're really going to be sharp, your nervous system is going to be sharp. The connection brain and muscle is going to be activated like differently. Otherwise, if you lose this window, you're not going to be like a good. And I was lucky. I was lucky because my dad put me in the sport like such an young age.
How did he know about it? I mean, how was he so like tuned in? I mean, now my son, who's going to be 13 in November, I'll throw a dowel in his hand, and we'll start getting him messing around with some snatching, something light, just to get him to move fast. But how did he know to go more in depth with you?
That's a great question. Great question. My dad was always like a visionary, and I remember that he would tell like his friends, and he would tell like other people, "This kid's gonna be Olympian. This kid's gonna be the best in the world. You just wait." And he was a really tough guy. I remember vividly when I was 12 years old. One day I was tired, and I got from school. And I told my mom, I was like, "Mom, I'm tired. I'm just gonna chill here. I'm just gonna relax." And my mom was always super chill. She was like, "No problem. Yeah, you just stay." So my dad called my sports club. They say, "Where's the kid?" And they said, "Oh, he's not here." And my mom, and then he called my mom, and Ace, my mother's name is Sylvia. Sylvia, where is the kid? And my mom said, "Oh, he just left. He's not here." And he was like, "No, you're lying, because he's not training." So he left his job, drove to São Paulo. Traffic is horrible. It's like horrible times 100. It's another level. So he drove home. I was 12 years old. He beat me, like he beat my ass, like bad, bad. Put me in the car, drove me to the sports club, and we were a group like of teenagers, like 15 kids between 10 to 16 years old. And he told everybody, he said, "Listen, while you guys were here working hard and developing yourself, my son here, Fernando, was sleeping at home. He was being lazy." So I was such ashamed of myself. I never after that, I never missed practice again. So after this day, I was
That's unbelievable.
traumatized.
That's
Yeah,
but in a way, like most people nowadays, like I'm laughing about it. I'm going to get ridiculed for it because someone's going to be like, no. But like that was an old school,
exactly.
that was an old school mentality. And
Exactly.
if it wasn't for that moment, who knows? Maybe you're not in the Olympics, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
think about it. It could have been.
Absolutely. Like back then, I could not see uh this way, but right now I really understand, because if you let your kid decide for everything, like when you're young, like 12 years old, 13, you don't know anything about life. You have so much anxiety because you have like different choices and all that. And right now I really understand, you being like a dad. You gotta choose wisely for your kid. No, you going to do that. So I had pretty much two duties in my life. I had to go to school, get good grades, and I had to train a sport. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to do, it doesn't matter. Like, oh, you chose Olympic lifting, okay, you're gonna be the best on Olympic lifting. Let's work on it. And and pretty much that's how I started. But I remember when I started back then. People would say to my dad, "Oh, you're crazy. Your son is not gonna he's not gonna grow up. He's gonna be like a midget. You know, if he's training too heavy." That's Yeah, we had to face those things, like that's. And my dad was always like cool about it.
Yeah, so 6'1". I mean, Derek, I'm going to pass it to you, but 6'1", 300, what are you, about 320 pounds?
350.
350 pounds.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah,
a, li-
yeah.
a little bit fat.
My
I love it.
my next question is, like, because I assume everybody in Brazil does Brazilian jiu-jitsu just like everybody in Canada plays ice hockey, which I don't. Um, but if you're, 300 plus pounds and Brazilian jiu-jitsu and you can clean and jerk over 240 kilograms, I would want to stay away from you. Does it translate? Like when you get on the mat and you roll around with people, like, are you ripping arms off?
Not really. Right now, like right now, my cardio is so bad that like I can hold myself for like a couple minutes, and after that, my cardio is gone. Like I cannot do anything. Pretty much, like my muscles are so fatigued that I'm not able to do literally anything. Literally, it's like scary. But I'm pretty sure if I work my cardio for a couple months, I can develop and I can do well. Uh, but not like in such like a high level. Like whenever you're competing against those high level guys, it's completely different. It's the same as someone trying to lift with me. Is like a regular dude. It's not gonna happen.
Listen, I want to kind of pivot a little bit into two really important topics, and we're going to have to take one at a time because we could probably fill most of the session on it. But training, and then the reason why I want to start with the recovery was because I was at the Schwitz with
Oh,
your buddy Marcus Leone, who's another person I should bring on here. We should bring on here.
absolutely.
and Jordan, and we were sitting there talking, and they were talking about you and your routine, and we were talking about recovery, and they were like, "No, Fernando, I think they said twice a week on these days. It might be, if I recall, Tuesday, Thursday. What did they
Yeah,
say?
yeah,
Tuesday,
yeah, yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah.
They said Tuesday, Thursday. He is here. He is spending a certain amount of time. For you to be 6'1", 350 pounds, and to be able to move the way that you do. I mean, I'm 210 pounds. I can't move the way that you do. The positions you get into with the speed you get into won't happen in my lifetime, right? It's one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. And
Thank you.
but for you to be able to focus on recovery in the way that you focus on it, I mean, most people out there are going to be shocked. You probably take it as seriously as you're training.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's another training session for me. It's like going to the like going. I'm not that religious, but it's like going to the church. I must go. There is no other way. There's no other way. If I don't recover my body for the next training session, I'm gonna be like beat up because every training session is as light as it is brutal. It's brutal. Like I'm hurting myself. I'm hurting like everything. Like so, like after a heavy training sessions, like I got in a car accident pretty much. Like my whole body is in shock. My nervous system is in shock. So going to the sauna, doing the contracts between sauna and cold tub. I do like multiple sessions. For me, it's really good for my body and for my mind. So I must do it. I must do it. Like whenever I shut down with you guys here, I'm gonna eat something and go to the Russian and Turkish bath. And that's something that I learned
Right.
after that I went to Russia, because I went to Russia a couple times and I had the opportunity to go like do a couple training camps there, and they do that like a lot, a lot, a lot.
Is it twice a week? Is it what's your, I mean, you're twice a week. Is that your only recovery days? Are you on your training days training and then spending time doing other recovery modalities? Or is it just like, I'm getting into my routine, I'm training, and I'm going home and I'm resting and eating?
Like twice a week is an obligation for me to go to the Russian and Turkish bath. But sometimes I'll go three times. I go Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday because I like to start like Monday fresh. Uh, but if I don't go to the Russian and Turkish bath, I have sauna here in my building, and I do every night. So on top of these 2 days that I do Tuesday and Thursday that I do contract sauna and cold tub, I do every night. I do it like in my building, just at least two rounds or 15 minutes, jump in the pool, try to relax a little bit. And on top of that, I have Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I have physiotherapy with my PT. I finish my first training session in the morning. I have something to eat. And then right after we start doing some either strength and conditioning or stretching, or it really depends on the period of the training. So right now I'm getting close to compete at Pan Am's, so we're just doing like stretching, recovering, something really light. But recovery is a must. If you don't have time to recover, you're not gonna be a high profile athlete. There's no way.
Yeah, Fernando, what I was going to ask you about warm up, because I remember watching, like, I had the old tapes of like the Bulgarians training, and I remember watching like Vanev or something like that, and he'd start really like with the bar, and then he goes like, 40 kilos and then up, and it was this long sort of progression. Is that how you do it? Like, you take your time to get up to your big weights?
Absolutely. That's another great question, Derek. Uh, Warm up is so important because you got to make sure that you're ready to lift some heavy weights. But I try to face in a way that I don't worry about the weight that I'm lifting, and I worry about the sensation, like how I feel. If I don't feel good, I don't go up. I do one more set, one more set, one more set. Oh, now I'm feeling good. Now I'm feeling connected to the bar. Now everything makes sense. Put more weight in the bar. I go for the next load, and then that's pretty much how I do it. I try to like understand the lift and understand my body, and I don't move to another like set of percentages if I don't feel good, unless I'm competing, unless it's something that I must do it. But in training, I learned to go by feel, and really like really understand what I'm doing. You know, like even if I'm warm, if I'm warm, if I'm sweating, and I do like a set, and it doesn't feel right, I don't go up. I stay there and do it again. Oh, now it feels good. Now I can move on to the next set.
But competition's like a really different experience
Yeah.
because you only get 3 shots. And it's not
Absolutely.
like high jump where if you make one, you get 3 more. You just get 3 and picking that weight.
Absolutely.
And how would you describe that process?
In competition, your feelings doesn't matter. Like it really don't matter at all. Doesn't matter if you're sad, if you're good, if you're not feeling well, if you're hurt. In competition is the day. You gotta put everything on it. You gotta put everything. So during the training program, during the microcycle, okay, you can manage your feelings, but competitions, your feelings are useless. So you gotta do it.
Do you find that transition is difficult sometimes? I mean, if you're taking additional feeler sets and you're spending time kind of, you know, adapting to, I guess, your readiness that day, which is typically what you're doing, right? I mean, you're
Yeah.
you're you're spending time taking additional feeler sets, warm up sets, call it what you want. And it's kind of ironic because most people, I mean, you take a high level lifter like yourself, the highest
Yeah.
in the world, right? Beginners are all like, well, how many sets? Like, you probably don't even know at the end of a workout. Like, you
Yeah.
probably got to sit there and think about it a little bit. You're not finding you're not following a template. You're just going off a feel. But translating from that to competition, do you feel like because of adrenaline and because of the state of mind that you got to be in, it just kind of clicks and you
Ab-
fired it in?
Absolutely, absolutely. And all the competitions, like when I'm performing really well, I don't have anything in my mind. It's blank, I just go and do it. It's not like i- it's something like really, really different. Competitions are the competition day is a special day. It's a really special day, and that is like where magic happens pretty much. You prepare yourself like years and years, and you have, like, as Derek said, only 3 attempts to show what you've worked, and you got to do it. You got to do it. There's no other option. No other option.
Yeah, and I know Don and I appreciate everything that you do because you started at age 10 and now and then we can go somewhere in New York City, Don, and go to a CrossFit gym and watch people do like power cleans and go like, "Oh my goodness." Like how much do people take for granted the ability that you have technically? And how much time did it take to develop that?
There is a saying that is like, it's really hard to teach old dogs new tricks. It's really hard. It's just like simple as that. I have a lot of people that come to me and said, "Oh, I want to be an Olympic champion. I want to be an Olympian." I was like, "Buddy, it's not gonna happen. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not a musician. Like, I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen. You should have started like 15 years ago. There is a process. You cannot beat process, and it's time. I think it's really easy to develop and to learn technique and to develop flexibility, improve range of motion, but power, raw power, it takes times and years and years and years and years to develop. There's no other way. I don't know any other way. Or if you have any shortcut, you're gonna pay the price. There's no doubt about it.
I couldn't agree with you anymore. I mean, it's funny. I've dedicated, Derek knows, my life to my craft and what it is I do. Like, um, Olympic lifting now is the one area of my training where I'm like, no, it's way behind. I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
Like, I've kind
it's
of,
fine.
I've kind of accepted it. Like, dude, I don't put much time into it. And it was something in the back of my head. It's not, I don't give up on anything, but I understand that I did not put that time in my preteens to my teens.
Yeah,
And if I gave everything up and started working at it, would I become mediocre at best? I believe yeah, maybe
yeah,
mediocre at best. But
yeah.
to get, like, people, I want everyone to listen to what I'm saying out here right now. When we just take 1 second. When you walk into hybrid and you see someone like Fernando lifting, it is, people stop. I don't care how strong you are. Marcus Leone, who's probably got one of the best squats I've ever seen, on one of the strongest human beings I've ever met.
Yeah.
Marcus looks at me and he just shakes his head left to right. Like, he goes, this guy's a freak. And it's really special to see. And I hope when people leave from here, they'll at least start following you on your Instagram and start
Yeah.
seeing what it is you do. Cause I believe it's a work of art.
Yep, pretty much it is. Like one of my students said, "You're like a gorilla in the zoo. Whenever you start performing, everybody stops and get the cell phone." I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know if that's good or bad, but thank you. I don't know if you should thank you or not. Like, it's funny.
Everyone was standing, Derek, everyone the other day, we're in there, like Ben Pekulski's training. Like Steffi Cohen's training. Like we got some big names in the gym. Marcus is doing a deload day where he's up at around 700 pounds with a safety squat bar, which is another story. And no one gives a crap about anyone in there. All eyes are on him. And it was just, it's because it's such a rarity to go and see. You walk into a CrossFit gym, you see someone doing that with 225 and people are like, ooh, it's like, that's no, we're talking about 200, what'd you say, 220 kilos?
Yeah, 210. That day was 210, the three singles, 3x1.
What do you, so what's your goals now? What's your goals now in the what'd you say, the Pan Am Games are coming up? What are your goals in the Pan Am Games?
So right now we have Pan Am Championships coming April 24th. I want to break again the Pan American records. So I want to do like something like around 200 kilos snatch and 245 kilograms clean and jerk. And that's gonna be like really good to be in the world ranking. I'll probably gonna be like top 3, and then hopefully get my Olympic medal. Like that's a goal that is gonna be August 5th. We're going to be competing. It's going to be a really, really nice competition. We have Lascia Talagazzi, that is the number 1 in the world, number 1 in the rank right now. The guy is in another level. But all the rest, like we are pretty much in the same level. So it's going to be a really dog fight. And I'm preparing like really well. I've never been in such a good shape physically and mentally. I feel prepared. I just got to put the balls in the right place at the day and lift the weight pretty much.
I have a question about equipment, Fernando. How important is that? Like I have equipment here. Like I got these new plates here, bumper plates. There, I think a friend of mine gave them to me, and they're Usaka, and I have an Alico bar for my kids to work with. But how important is it? Like, do you have to know what kind of equipment and bar they're using at the competition so that you can train with that equipment?
It is important. It is really important, especially on the clean and jerk. Whenever you clean and jerk like such a heavy load, you have the barbell flexibility, and they vary. Like Ilico is a little bit different, Wezaka is a little bit different. So it's pretty important to work and train with the material that you're going to be competing. I have both a Ilico barbell and a Wezaka barbell at the gym, so I can go like and train and really but if you're training anything below like 180 kilos, you're not gonna feel. You can feel the difference on the grip. You can have like a little bit of sensibility, but not in the bouncing of the bar. Like it really varies from one brand to another. But it is really important to adapt and have the right equipment that you're gonna be competing with for sure.
So I definitely want to get into training a little bit and hear a little bit about that because I know a lot of people are going to be really interested. But when did you move from Brazil?
I moved in 2010. I went to St. Louis, Missouri. I spent 4 years there. I went to college there. I studied business administration. Then in 2014, I moved back to Brazil. I stayed 2 more years for the Olympic Games, 2016, and then 2000, beginning of 2017, I moved to Miami. I had a friend here that owned a gym, and he said, "Hey, Fernando, come over here. We're gonna work together. You're gonna manage the Olympic weightlifting team." And then I moved. Steffi started training with me at the gym. Back then, she would do like 2 training sessions a week, if I recall, Olympic lifting in between powerlifting. And then we became good friends. My friend sold the gym, and Steffi said, "Come over here, and now you're gonna work with us." So it's been a blast to be with them so far.
So that's why the brother's there now, right? He seems like he's one of your biggest fans. He's always there. He's vocal. He seems like just such a great guy.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. I have a great like not pleasure, but I'm a blessed guy, man. I have such like good people around me. I have like Steffi, I have my brother, I have Hayden, I have like you guys. Even like when you're there, you're like cheering and I can feel like the good vibe. So I really have like a big crew around me, like pushing me every day.
It's good to see good people doing good things.
Thank you, bro.
Derek, I didn't want to cut into you, but go ahead.
Yeah, now because I'm an old guy, I have questions. I have questions about aging. Like, I remember like when I was a track and field athlete, so we did Olympic lifting as part of the training when I was in my 20s, and then I was coaching more in my 30s, and I noticed differences in my strength. Like I had old man strength, but I wasn't as quick and fast. And do you find that there's been a difference from when you were 20 to now that you're older?
That's amazing, Derek. That's a great question. Uh, Definitely, I feel much stronger right now. I still carry a lot of my speed when I was like a lighter athlete, but I know that the first, how can I say, the first quality that I'm going to start losing is going to be speed. And once you start losing speed, you no longer like a good Olympic lifter. I can be as powerful as I can, but if I'm not moving fast, I'm not being precise, I won't be able to hit like 200 kilos snatch, 205 kilos snatch. There's no way. There's no way. And there's the first quality that we lose us, and it's not something that we can control. We can still like improve and trying to work with your nervous system, trying to do a little bit of plyometrics, whatever you want to do it. But that's what is gonna happen to everyone
All
pretty
of us.
much.
Right.
All
Yeah,
of us, exactly.
that speed, and the thing was, it was interesting for me when I got closer to better lifters was not the strength, but the speed getting under the bar, and like that faster than gravity, like get under it. And that's probably the most amazing thing. It's not necessarily the weight going up, it's you going down.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And that's the first quality that you start losing. And that's why you don't see like lifters above lifting like the high level when they are like 34, 35. You see like Lu Jung, he's 34, 35, but he's only one in the whole world. You don't see them. You don't see them. And especially, I think you can stay a little bit longer in the super heavy divisions because we are like bigger, we move a little bit slower than the other lifters, but it's still, once you start losing the speed, you can be as powerful, as strong as you are, but you're not going to be able to move. And that's pretty common to see like regular dudes like they say, oh, that's a lightweight, I know that it's light, I can do that, but I'm not able to lift. Yeah, I know that you have the power and you have the strength to do a snatch, but you're not capable of connecting the dots and doing the lift.
So we did talk a little bit about recovery, but can you go through how you like to break down your training without giving
Absolutely.
away all your secrets, of course? But
No, nothing's a secret. The secret
I
is
get it.
is how you are consistent throughout the 360 days of the year. It's really easy
100%.
to be a maniac and train really heavy like 1 week, 2 weeks, and after that you feel tired, you stop doing it. Like being really consistent 365 days a year, eating well, sleeping well, training well. So like what I do in my microcycle, I divide through periods. So I have 7 different periods. I have general prep, basic preparation, special preparation, control of competition, direct competition, and then transitioning. So each period has its own purpose. Each period has, for example, basic preparation. What I need to develop. I need to develop power on my legs and my lower back. So I'll be doing a lot of squats. I'll be doing a lot of pulls, special preparation. I need to correct my technique on the second pull. So I'll be lifting from the blocks. I'll be doing like special movements just to correct my technique. And that's pretty much how I divide it. Like I like to think as a puzzle. I get what part I'm a good and what part I'm a bad. And you really have to be honest with yourself, and you really have to have like people that have more experience than you and said, oh, you're doing really well on this one, but you're bad right here. So how are we gonna work? And it's not like a clear recipe. You gotta really try like new exercises, really try something new to correct, and it may work and it may not work. That's how it is.
Who's that person for you that you can go to and that can kind of put you in line? Do you have someone where they may turn to you and say, "No, listen, you're focusing a little bit too much on this," or "No, let's talk a little bit."
I have like people around me, like even like right now, a person that I'm talking a lot is Jordan. If I have any
That's
questions,
awesome.
I speak to Jordan, I speak to Stephanie, to my brother that's been in the game longer than I am, to a good friend of mine is a Russian lifter like that's been in the game for 45 years. Maxim Agaptov has a lot of experience on training. I was like, if I have any questions, I go to those dudes that they've been in the game forever. They know more I've been in 20 years. They've been like 30, 40 years. So they have more experience.
I have a question about technology. Fernando. And I know a lot of people, I mean, the world is about video right now. And again, if I go back to watching, the guys from the old days, they didn't have video. They didn't get to look and watch themselves. So how important to you is video versus feel, or how important is feel? And how do you assess your technique if you don't have a coach there?
It's very important. It's very important. Uh, but nowadays we live in a completely different world with social media and everything. And I'm starting to get better on it. I'm posting more. But if you have the chance to analyze the lift, it's really important. But don't overanalyze. People get caught up too much on overanalyzing and seeing the angle. What is a better angle? What is better? No, 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 no. Just do it. Do the lift. First step is do it, and then you may correct this and you can change that. Don't overanalyze. Don't stay too much unless you are like a professor that wants to develop like a new study. Okay, you can do it as much as you want, but if you're an athlete, you got to spend more time on the field. You got to spend more time training and analyze just enough. Don't overanalyze.
Yeah, and one of the questions I had too was like in sports performance, like I work with American football and all these different things, and everybody's talking about velocity based training and like measuring bar speed. How important is that? I mean, obviously you're trying to move the bar as fast as you can. Do you need to know that?
Not really.
Or
Not
do you
really.
or lift lighter, faster? Like, like there's all these theories.
Get stronger. Get stronger. Power always gonna help you get stronger. Squat, like just a simple analogy. You don't have to be a scientist to understand. It's like if I squat 350 kilos in a really like in a perfect form, 200 kilos is gonna be light. If I squat 370 kilos, 220 kilos is gonna be light. So just increase your strength. Of course, try to analyze if the movement is good, if you have the right range of motion, if you're doing things right. But develop your power, and the speed's gonna come together. Unless you're a power lifter that squats like low bar, and so then it's a different story. But for Olympic lifting, if you develop power in the right way, everything else is gonna come together. So that's another, like, going back to the training preparation. Whenever I'm doing the base period, if I increase a little bit my level of strength, I know that I'm in the right direction, because I already have developed the technique, I already have developed the right positions. So that's simple way to do it. It's just like develop power.
So you're born in 1990, which makes you what, about 31, 32 years
31.
old?
Yes.
31. And then also it takes an incredible amount of maturity, I think, in your type of training. I mean, this isn't bodybuilding training where a lot of bodybuilders are like, we're just going to create tension, and a lot of them, I was talking to Ben about it, do it incorrectly, how it's just volume, 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 and then their body kind of pays a toll. So much of what you're doing has to do with not only how strong you are, but your nervous system, right? And in respecting your nervous system and respecting your recovery, you have to make some really mature decisions. Is that something you feel like you were just born with, or did you have to teach yourself to do, or did you understand that, like, no, if I'm feeling this way, I got to make an adjustment, I got to take a day off? Like, how'd you go about handling that?
No, I definitely learned with the process, definitely with the years of training, because before, and that's a super good question, because I was talking to a friend, to Medina, yesterday, because before, when I was young, I remember that I would train until I was like exhausted. I couldn't do anything. Nowadays, I always finish my training with a little bit of gasoline in the tank, just a little bit for the next training session. And I think that I've learned that after the surgery, because before I would like really like kill myself in training, and I would doubt myself. "Oh, am I really tired? Let's go get back again. I'm gonna try it again and do it again. No, I'm missing. But why am I missing? No, no, I'm not tired. Let's try it again. And right now, like, I have a little bit of like a better understanding of the whole process, and I always finish my training session with a little bit of gasoline in the tank.
It's interesting that you say that, and then I'm going to pass it over to Derek, but I almost feel like not only with Olympic lifting, but with all forms of training, we should now be leaving with a little gas in the tank. And yeah, you're going to have those days, pending on your goals, that you really put your foot on the gas. But I'm trying to promote consistency over intensity to the general population. Like let's leave there wanting a little more.
Absolutely.
And you agree with that on all forms of lifting?
100%, 100%, 100%. No doubt about it. And
Love
especially
it.
working with the general population, whenever they come to train with me on hybrid, they want to like break the world record in one day. I was like, no, no, just relax, relax. Don't worry about it. Like tomorrow is going to be a new day. And then tomorrow is another day. And then we go like, move on. Don't worry so much about it.
Yeah, I don't want to look past like your competitions here, but into the future, do you see yourself as being a coach and a mentor and really maybe even developing some people from your country in terms of Olympic lifting and establishing them as, a center for training? Have you thought about those types of things in your future?
That's another great question, Derek. I think you really have to be born with this talent of being a coach. I am a coach right now. I help people out. I work at the online platform with hybrid. But if I see myself doing that like 20 years from now, that's a great question. I'm not able to answer you right now. I'm not really like, because I don't feel that I'm like 100% coach, because I'm an athlete right now. And for you to be a coach, you really have to understand the game as a coach. I help a lot of people. I have so many people under my my training program that I help that to develop, and I like to say that I help them. I'm not like 100% coach. Like for you to be a coach, you really have to devote like the same amount of time that I devote myself to be an athlete. You have to do as a coach, and that's a good question. I'm not able to answer you right now.
It's
Yeah.
funny.
I don't think
Derek,
Don, you or I knew that when we were athletes that we are going to be where we are,
you
right?
just stole that. I
Yeah.
mean, basically what I was
Like-
just about. I mean, Derek could read my mind now. I mean, honestly. Yeah, it's funny. I feel like every good coach, I mean, there's so many good coaches out there, but I think every good coach has this ingredient. I don't know if it's empathy or compassion or this love. And I'm talking good coaches. I'm not talking about
Yeah,
someone who took a course and is like, no, I
yeah,
understand
yeah,
anatomy and kinesiology and I can apply it
yeah,
and sound like a robot. I mean,
yeah,
someone who can really get in there, a
yeah,
coach. Like
yeah,
when you talk about Jordan is like, someone asked me who's like one of the probably youngest, brightest minds in the industry right now. And
yeah.
I throw him at the top of the list. Like, first off, I love him to death. He's just a great person,
Exactly,
but he's a caring person. He's a
exactly.
good person. I think when you couple that with the fact that you can read and absorb more information than probably most human beings can, like he can, I think it's a deadly combination.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more with that. I think it's a devotion that you gotta put like so much time. The same time that I put as an athlete, you gotta put it to be a coach. You gotta understand from the whole game. Like you gotta be like, there's, because if I fail like on training myself, that's on me. If I fail training somebody else, is a lot of responsibility. So when somebody like puts and not even not even like being like a high level athlete, like a regular person, it's a lot of responsibility to take this person and to work on it.
Now, I just have one more question here because I always I want to ask and help support athletes. Olympic lifting's not like a big money maker sport, would you say? Do you have any like sponsors or people that support you that we should hear about? And
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm a really like privileged guy, man. Like Derek, like I'm able to do anything that I want to do. It like being a professional athlete, I was able to move to US. I was able to like study at a US university. I have a lot of sponsors in Brazil. I have Petrobras. I have this the government sponsors me as like. I have the Brazilian government. I have my sports club, Sports Club Pinheiros. I have hybrid performance method that everybody's awesome. I have certified Piemontees. I have right now. I just signed with Virus, so I'm a privileged athlete. Like I think that I created like a good platform, and I'm starting to understand how important it is also to promote myself. Before I was just as as he said, I was just like the lifter back at the gym, just lifting a lot of weights. Right now, I'm showing myself like more and more. Uh, Thanks for the opportunity to be here with you guys. For me, it's awesome, and that's what I do, brother.
I love it, man. Well, listen, Fernando, tell everyone out there, where can they and we'll post it on the site. But where can they find you? Where can they follow you?
I'm pretty active on social media on Instagram. You can go Reis Fernando and add me there. Like if you have any questions, just shoot me a message. I'll be more than happy to reply.
Appreciate that. And if there's anything you need out of us from a promotional standpoint, you ask us. We'll have this video up soon. I'm going to promote it on my channel. Derek will promote it on his channel. We'll throw it up on stories. But anything beyond that you need, you got friends in Vancouver and in New York. So just don't feel shy to reach out to us.
Thank you so much.
And I owe you lunch when I'm down in Miami next time. I'm taking you out.
It's gonna be my pleasure, man. Thank you so much, guys, for having me. For me, it's my pleasure. Whenever you guys here in Miami, reach out and we're gonna go
100%.
Yeah,
we have to get Derek to we got to get Derek to hybrid. He hasn't been down there yet.
Let's go there. Come over here, brother.
We'll be cheering you on in Tokyo as well. That's for sure.
Thank you so much. We're gonna be fighting for this medal, brother.
Go get it. All right.
Thank you.
All right, brother. Thanks again, Derek. Thank you, Fernando. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. You guys have a great day, buddy.
You too.
Likewise.
Bye-bye.
Take care.